From TPN at technophilespodcast.com, I'm David Geisler, and this is the Technophiles Podcast.
True virtual reality, I believe.
That's true, yes. If this were augmented reality or mixed reality, I think Microsoft kept calling it.
Mixed reality is such a less cool name.
I think augmented reality is cool.
This Tuesday, David and Vee invite Tony Rome from Branching Dialogue onto the show as they all discuss the future of virtual and augmented reality. It's time to go beyond the screen because this is the Technophiles' 271st episode.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's show. Something I just did made Vee Laabs laugh. Vee Laabs is here with me tonight, one of our regular cast members, and we are missing Tony Stiglich and Krista Lee.
Yeah.
But it gave us an excellent opportunity to have my co-host from Branching Dialogue join us as a guest on this show, Vee Laabs. Mr. Tony Rome is here. Tony, good to see you again. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. We subbed one Tony for another.
You're even in Tony's spot right now.
In equal trade, if you will.
An equal trade. A
If
Tony
we
for a
have
Tony.
anything less than one Tony, things get weird around here.
It's a little weird for me because on Branching Dialogue, Tony sits in V's chair, and now he's over in Tony's chair.
Yeah.
It's really uncomfortable.
My world is...
Do you have
Getting
do you get the
twisted.
tiny chair?
Yeah, I usually use the tiny chair.
I use the tiny chair too. I try not to lean.
You guys are real
You
real
lean
good
forward
sports
and it
about
starts
that.
collapsing. Yeah.
I've never had that.
Oh no.
Well, V,
No.
what are we talking about tonight? Because I want to say why we were excited to get Tony on.
We are going to be talking about some games and some virtual reality experiences. So that's kind of related to video games.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, in a way. In a manner of speaking, you could say that.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about the Microsoft Halolens demo that happened last week.
Yep.
Which was amazing. Basically, it's a virtual reality episode. And the next episode after this is our live episode at UWM, which is all about games and society with Thomas Malaby.
Yep.
Which people can go. That's going to be October 14th, 6:30. Doors open at 6. We start at 6:30 in the Digital Humanities Lab on the second floor of UWM. We got a weird kind of video game ramp happening right now.
Yeah, we're
on the podcast.
we're making our way in there. We've been talking about video games a lot. I don't know what it is.
It's true, absolutely. And then Tony, we've got V coming on our Halloween special for our Branching Dialogue, which is going to be super, super fun.
Yeah.
So just worlds are colliding here as we finish out season 7
Just an
on Technophiles
explosion
Pod.
of video
Killing
games.
Independent George.
So I said to V Laabs, I said, why don't we get Tony over here?
Yeah.
And Tony, thank you again for joining us. For anybody who doesn't listen to Branching Dialogue, who are you?
So, I'm Tony, the other Tony Rome, if you will.
Other Tony.
I'm a video game enthusiast. And there's not much more to me about that than that.
That's fine.
Nintendo is my video game of choice. World of Warcraft, League of Legends,
Ah.
that kind of thing.
Hey, if you get a chance, you should come to the live show because
I've heard
Thomas
you-
Malaby, he's
Yeah.
all about World of Warcraft.
We
and
talked
Second
about
Life.
that on the last
Episode of Branching
Dialogue.
Yeah, perhaps we did. It does start to blur for me a little.
The gaming community episode, and it was germane to the topic.
Oh, yes, indeed. Our last episode was about specifically League of Legends, Vee Laabs.
Oh.
That was good. That was a good one. All right. Let's get into this.
Yeah.
Microsoft HoloLens. It's kind of fun. I mean, half the cast is gone, so it feels like it's a camping episode. I feel like we're like on vacation a little bit here. It's a little bit looser. And I'm for it. I'm so pleased you're here, Tony and V. So V, you found a story. There's plenty of stories out there. This is kind of just out there on the internet right now.
Floating in the internet.
But you said, why don't we talk about the HoloLens demonstration at the Microsoft event?
Yeah, I actually found it when I was looking for other stuff, and I saw how it related to the other story we're going to talk about, and I was like, oh, sure, why not? Let's check out this video. So this is from the latest Microsoft event, and they've been doing HoloLens demos for various things over the last year or so. Just showing off what it can do. Most recently, and most significantly, their biggest demo was at E3 when they did that really rad Minecraft tabletop experience.
Oh, this past E3, yes.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
Oh my
was.
gosh!
I agree.
You take like a third-person perspective to the world instead of as your character, and you're manipulating it and this dude summons lightning with his voice.
Yes.
Okay.
It was
that's
wild.
cool.
He shot a pig and it turned into a pig man. It was crazy.
I really liked the idea. I thought it was really smart of them to do okay, let's go third person with this.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and it's like It's
I
like
would love
movies.
I mean, I can't wait for the day. We were talking about esports a couple episodes ago on Branching Dialogue, And like Tony, for what it's worth, I'm excited for the day, which hopefully is only like 5 or 6, 7 years away from us right now, where you put on your HoloLens or whatever device and you like watch the League of Legends tournament as if you're kind of like,
oh my god,
David.
you just look
sign
down
me
and it's
up
all
day
happening
one
on the table in front of you. You know what I mean?
Oh my
Yes,
god,
I love it. I was thinking when V mentioned the Minecraft demo, immediately what I was reminded of like digital board games.
Yeah.
That's what makes me think of it.
yeah.
Because like when you're looking at the Minecraft thing, it looks like this big like Carcassonne or
Yes, it
does.
Settlers map.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
I agree.
man.
And up to this point, sometimes PlayStation had a few of those games where there was like you'd lay cards down and there was a camera.
the
But you'd always
PlayStation Eye.
the eye, but you always had to have this kind of really clunky augmented reality kind
and it
of.
never worked.
Yeah, I never used it, but you tried it once or twice, I guess.
Yeah, it
Not so much.
never worked.
Fair enough. So V, why don't you walk us through what happened here?
Yeah, so in their October 2015 event that they just had in New York, they gave a live demo of something they're calling Project X, and it's a HoloLens game.
Not generic at all.
Yeah, I know.
Project X.
Yeah, it sounds so cool, so edgy. And it's kind of their first foray into like stuff that's specifically built for the HoloLens. It's not like an adaptation of something else like Minecraft is.
That's true. That's true.
It's for the HoloLens. Like it. So it utilizes the hologram technology and like the wall detection part of it as well, and also detection of like where your hand is. And
Yes.
so in the demo, like the point of the game is you shoot aliens, whoop-de-doo. But
every demo's always going to be you shoot
shoot
aliens for every piece
yeah.
of technology
Yeah,
ever.
it's like, you didn't think we could do anything with this, but guess what? You can
can
shoot
shoot
aliens!
Shoot aliens. Oh, so crazy. In a
Yeah.
couple of years, there's going to be another piece of technology, and the demo's going to be like, you can plant flowers. And people are going to be like, what?
What? Where's the
Yeah,
aliens?
but they're like alien flowers,
yeah,
right?
yeah. you dig in the ground and then aliens come out. You have to fight the aliens.
No, you just kind of tend to your garden.
Just tend to your garden in real time. Ooh. All right. Anyway, so
No,
so aliens.
This isn't
Hey,
violent.
do you know what I couldn't help think about too when we were watching the video for this, watching the presentation, everything else. Remember, like a year ago, back at the other studio, we talked about like having a pet dinosaur, or a pet dragon.
Yes.
Little Tamagotchi,
Yeah.
HoloLens dragon, and we were saying like, oh, but you could never fit a dragon in your apartment. Well, you could have it. We joked that you could just have it like have a virtual window that your
Yeah.
T-Rex comes and sticks its
Awesome.
head in,
And you feed the T-Rex.
and you feed it and do whatever.
Yeah.
As like a Tamagotchi game type style.
Yeah.
That totally, they started basically using that technology in
Yes.
this demo. So let's talk about
it's so
it.
cool. Okay, so it starts out and there's this cool guy and he's got his HoloLens on and he's looking kind of dorky, but also trying to be cool.
It's very important that we point out that there was two perspectives for this demo. There was the guy in it doing the first person perspective, which was not like displayed,
Yeah.
which is really normally how you would experience the game.
We weren't seeing out of his eyes.
But they did rig up basically a steady cam with the same kind of HoloLens sensors and stuff so that all of the mapped augmented reality geometry would line up. So we were watching this kind of as a third person situation.
They also had like a secondary shot of like him without the holograms. Which,
Oh, seriously?
yeah, they would like show it every couple times and you would just
Oh, that's true.
yeah,
So it's
you
just
would,
this
you would
guy
just see
wearing
this
a
guy
goofy
wandering
helmet.
around this
Yep.
Like
weird
pointing at things with his hand.
with his
Yep.
fist. Yeah. In his hand actually is some sort of clicker, which I bet is some sort of detection device.
Yeah, it had
for
a couple little beads on it that I'm sure the
Yeah.
HoloLens is sensing some
Yeah.
kind of motion capture situation.
And so like the HoloLens projects like this kind of Omni tool-esque thing around his hand. He looks like it's like a
For the fun of it.
for the fun of it, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like your weapon in
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah, yeah, right.
and-
the same way that they could map like a pistol in your hand, they map like a Metroid style,
Yeah.
Basically.
Mega Man style
Mega
gun
Man, yeah.
over his arm,
Little
which
blaster.
was admittedly cool to see.
Pretty cool.
It was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see what that looks like from the first person
So like
perspective.
for us, it's fun that it looks like Mega Man and Metroid, but at the same time, or Samus or whatever. But at the same time, like there's like the practical versions of that, which is the gaming thing is cool too.
Yeah.
But like that, you could easily be like you get your weather app on your wrist and like or your
Yeah.
whatever. You can email,
like
you know,
walking
things can
around
just
your
start
house.
floating
Like it's
around you.
officially the future now.
It's the last step. I'll just say this. I've said it before on this show, but I don't think I've said it with this cast. That final step is going to be when it's not a head thing you wear.
Yep. Or
It'll
just
probably
projects.
eventually become contacts, and really at the end of the day, what it's really going to be is when it's like direct to neural,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
But that's when
won't
it'll
need,
really
any
be
implants or anything.
The future.
Yeah,
We will be living in
that's
Blade Runner.
the mega future.
Yep, exactly. I mean, there's there's a lot of people out there that speculate like we don't even really need hologram technology because it's all going to be augmented reality holograms, or technology goes the other direction where holograms get so good that we don't need augmented reality input devices. So this might go either way.
Yeah,
I would imagine the first option more, because I don't think that the graphic technology will just be able to do it.
And then
and you would require like cameras everywhere to project the.
I mean, you're absolutely right. No, there is the PlayStation helmet one or the Sony helmet where it has all the cameras on it. Have you seen that one?
That's the
is that the Morpheus or
the Valve one? I think?
Oh, the Valve one does it.
Yeah.
Where instead of cameras looking at sensors, it looks out and then feels that the room around you move, so that's how it knows how it's moving.
I thought there were still some like things.
Oh boy, maybe there are. Maybe I was a little overzealous in my assumption on
how
that
long
piece
ago
of
was
hardware.
that?
Half a year ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's still, I don't think it's out yet. But anyway, this is very exciting.
I know. It's all
so
cool.
we've got a third part. We have a third perspective Steadicam showing us a guy who's using the HoloLens.
And out of those classic Windows conference walls or Microsoft conference walls, burst out
there's kind of like a
a
living room
spawn
set
thing,
up
yeah.
on stage. You could say a living room set is up on stage.
Yeah, and through the wall burst like a few robots and like a spawn point for all these robots that's like coming out of a weird mechanical tunnel thing, and they start floating around the room, and he shoots at them and they explode, and he also like sometimes he misses and he hits the wall. And the wall breaks away and debris falls down, and like you can see behind it, like they map in
That's
some
the coolest
pipes
thing,
or
is
something.
that they deduce, not only is this thing's existing in the space in front of you, but you can, a little bit like the Dragon T-Rex stuff we were talking about a year ago, you can deduce space beyond the wall.
Yeah.
Now, see, the thing I'm curious about is like, it's probably not a real-time demo, right? It's I assume, like, my assumption being like a pessimist.
No, I know.
It's probably pre-programmed images that, like, it's pre-programmed to say, like, okay, the wall's here and it's going to show this. And
it definitely.
I want to see it occur in real time. Like,
I think it was live. It was live rendered. We talked about this on Branching Dialogue a while back with that. Which game was it where they got a little? Oh, was it Titan Force or Titanfall? Where I think Andrew Heggie was talking about it, where it was a live demo, quote unquote live demo, but it was all essentially keyframe animated. Like it wasn't someone playing.
Yeah,
it was rendered in engine, but it wasn't someone playing, and they made it look like it was someone playing.
Yeah.
Every single critter was clearly keyframe animated in this demo. This was not like. I don't think there was any game AI running here. That was clearly all animated, and that's fine because they only have so much time to show us certain things. But I do think that all that three-dimensional, the rendering of the room and where the camera was, and of course where the guy was, that was of course all real time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think probably him pulling a trigger was probably real time.
Yeah.
Missing, not missing. They probably rehearsed it 500 times.
Because he did like a few test shots on the wall before he did anything. So.
Yeah. But the scripting of all those critters and stuff, I'm sure, of course, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
But it was you hear like the crowd reaction, and it's like that classic like, technology's amazing. Whoa.
The future is now.
Oh,
seriously.
God. They're like
the
losing
future
their
is
minds.
now almost until we have no implants.
It's just this dude very calmly like. Boop, boop, boop.
He was very excited about being that dude, too.
Oh yeah.
By the end. I mean, I'm not making fun of him. He did great.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, like, when we do, like, these virtual reality, or even, like, analog reality, like, I keep going back to Rock Band.
Sure.
Where, like, you're super excited and it's really fun, and, like, you're just standing there still with a guitar, like, focused on the thing, like, like, you could be rocking out, but you're not...
No,
I don't know who you are. When I play Rock Band or Guitar Hero, I rock out.
It's like
I'm jumping all over the place.
Like, Vee has seen me play drums before.
Yeah,
I rock.
Yeah.
I have to kind of go with the music. Otherwise, it's harder.
Yeah, you have to balance that, like
It's easier
how much
for me
you
to,
want
like-
a good score and how much you want to have fun.
It's easy for me to watch that like orange gem come down. I don't have to watch it line up and hit it. I know it's coming, and I can feel which beat it should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, what it comes down to. But anyway, I digress. So, how do you guys think? What we saw with this demo? how can that get translated into things that happen, hypothetically in our normal lives and stuff? Because for starters, a little bit, being a little negative here, but I don't mean to. If you're doing that in your real living room and you accidentally trip over, I guess you're seeing your living room though.
Yeah.
So you're not tripping over the ottoman or the.
That's mixed reality.
Yeah.
That was a little
so
bit
hopefully
of a
that's part of it, and that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And hopefully the critters know that there's that desk behind you or in front of you, and they're not like they're not rushing you. And exactly.
It's gonna be interesting.
Are there other ways you can think that? How would you guys want to use this technology in your everyday life, not as a game? I'm gonna ask.
Oh. I don't know. I can't think of it any.
Tony's like games.
Yeah, I was like, I can't think of any other thing.
Just games and that tabletop thing.
Board games?
Yeah.
I mean, I think about board games, but like for me and V, maybe you agree, but like immediately I start thinking about design. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, what if you're like working in Photoshop or like video editing in your room? The worst thing about working on computers is that you have to sit at them for hours.
You're stuck.
You know what I mean?
But
and
if
it could be so creative, or like a painting. You could have a painting app running, all that kind of stuff.
My gosh.
Perhaps maybe you could do things where they already showed this with Hololens, but like you've got a 3D model of a motorcycle, and four or five you can go online and be in the quote unquote same room together to look at this model of this thing. Shopping. Could people go through virtual stores?
It sounds awesome. Like you could pick up a thing and turn it around.
Yeah.
Just like people, like 3D scans of models would start becoming a thing because you want to go.
You could try on clothes.
Yeah, so that's a thing that is like, that's a big part of this technology is.
You like look in the mirror and it projects like.
Maybe. Now that's interesting because they would have to deduce all that mirror. Depending on the sensors, if they're using light sensors, they could figure out it's a mirror, but if they're using. Not laser, but other sensors, that might be a flat object. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter.
You can always just manipulate it yourself. Become essentially like a paper doll.
Yeah. I think that's the way to do it. Maybe if you're cooking, is there a way to use this thing?
Have the recipe just floating in front of you at all times.
It could be that, or you could do like the FaceTime thing.
Smartphones can do that now.
Yeah, but then I have hands that are
like
covered
a
in
FaceTime
bacon
situation
grease.
where you could hologram in with each other or something.
I can't. A real life video call.
Like a real life video call.
Let's sit down and have this video conference next to each other.
And initially, it would probably have to be like your avatar.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't be filming you back. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have the feed from the other side, but it could be an avatar of you.
But it would be like that weird LA Noire thing where it's like this incredibly detailed face on like this really like scripted body.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. Those faces did look good. Well, I say we go to break here. We've spent plenty of time talking about this. Any closing thoughts, V? Any closing comments about the whole thing?
I wish I could be as cool as the guy who looks dead into the camera with a HoloLens on.
Someday you will be.
Someday
you will be. I'm sure of
it. I also want my pet T-Rex. Darn it! I want that. I want to throw virtual stakes through a virtual hole in my wall to a virtual T-Rex.
I would be all in for that.
Yeah,
all in. Sure. Mm-hmm. We get a little HoloLens, cat-sized HoloLens on Schrodinger here. He could be friends with the T-Rex.
Oh my god,
it'd be amazing. Maybe you couldn't. Maybe you wouldn't have like the full-on HoloLens for him to see, but you could still throw a couple dots on your dog or cat. I'm joking. All of a sudden, you
could HoloLens your cat into like a little, little
space lizard.
Dragon.
It's probably an alien.
No,
you
get a collar with those little ping pong balls on them.
Yeah, right. Collar with the ping pong balls. I love it. All right, let's go to break. We'll come back in about 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and talk about another version of virtual reality.
True virtual reality, I believe.
That's true. Yes, if this were augmented reality or mixed reality, I think Microsoft kept calling it.
Mixed reality is such a less cool name.
I think augmented reality is cool.
Yep.
All right, we'll be back talking about virtual reality, specifically the Void. See you guys in a bit. Hey everybody, David Geisler here, co-host of Branching Dialogue. I am with my co-host, Mr. Tony Rome. Tony, why don't you tell people a little bit about this show we're doing?
So it's called Branching Dialogue. Comes out every Thursday, and we like to talk about video games, topics in video games, a little bit about our favorite video games.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a reminiscent factor. I kind of like it. Sometimes we look back. And people can find it on Facebook and iTunes and YouTube by searching Branching Dialogue.
We're also on Twitter @Branch Dialogue.
Fantastic. There it is. Tony, I'll see you on Thursday.
I'm there.
All right, we are back from the break. And everyone, let's talk about the Void.
Should we talk all at once?
The Void.
The Void.
That was actually one at a time, guys. That didn't work out too well.
No.
Okay.
What were you suggesting all at once?
That we all talk about our own thing with the Void.
That's great. That's awesome.
And it's virtual and
so the Void is a different style of reality. We're calling it virtual reality, but there's a few key things that stand out about it to me. There's a company in Utah, and I think so the product or the experience is called The Void, and I think the company is called The Void too, all the research that I can do. Mm-hmm. And Vee did a little bit of fact-checking, and it stands for something. What does it stand for, Vee?
The
vision of infinite
dimensions. Thank you. I forgot already.
Very, very Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of it.
Yeah, very futuristic, very esoteric.
Maybe V stands... Okay,
Void kind of makes sense,
with another, what is it? Not
very
anagram.
Obvious... something
institutional
delight.
Yeah.
Institutionalized delight.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sounds good. But the Void is an experience that what this company is doing is they're taking a virtual reality headset and they put a backpack on you that does all the processing power, and they give you a little
top, if you will,
a back top, laptop, back top. That's funny. They give you a little sensor for your hand. Sometimes it might be represented as a torch. Sometimes it might be represented as a gun to shoot aliens. Or I think there was some scorpions in some of the demos we saw.
Again with the shooting aliens is the first thing you do.
So, there's a thing there with game development and all of that. It's always that's just the most core basic thing you can do in a world is
That's true.
It's kind of how you touch the world a little bit. You shoot
normal.
Something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's literally the third part of triangulate. It's the thing, it's you, and then it's the
interaction.
You've got the hand, your head, and then the thing, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's I'm not making fun at all, but that's just usually why usually how that
makes sense.
Comes together. So what this company does though that's really interesting is the headset works great and all the stuff. They create these virtual worlds, but they also put you inside a physical representation of that world. And to be more specific about that, we could say let's say you're in a dungeon maze. Well, a bit maybe a laser tag maze or something like that.
Yeah, that's
they put you in.
Yeah, the rooms reminded me a lot of old school laser tag.
Mm-hmm. So the rooms without the virtual reality. Yeah,
right,
there's no color. There's just gray walls everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just enough, and they apparently line up 1-to-1 with the virtual reality program, or swap that. They whatever they script whichever comes first.
Yeah.
They are identical all the way down to the point of all the way to if there's a bench to sit on, there's actually a block of something for you to sit on at the same space in the physical world. So what they're trying to get over here is people got really excited about the Oculus Rift, and people still are certainly, but when it first was coming out, people were really excited about it, and they were modding and playing every first-person game in the world with this thing. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, back then, you're still moving your body with a
controller,
an analog controller or something. And then some companies got really excited about all those omnidirectional treadmills, and those are still fine-ish.
Yeah.
They're fine, and especially if you want to play this in your living room where you don't have a warehouse size level to be in, which the Void definitely does require. It's very similar to like a laser tag situation where probably it's you go and you sign up for a time.
Or those new there's one in Milwaukee, Escape the Room places.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Escape the Room. We almost did a special episode with them. Maybe we still will. But that's a little bit more real reality. You're playing the game in real space.
It's kind of an interesting mix between the two because there are physical walls there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that when you're in the dungeon level, they're brick and gray and stone. But when you're in the alien level, they're all mechanical.
For the Escape? No, for the Void.
For the Void.
Yes, right. Good. No, I just want to be clear.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then they even do a few things like what they were calling 4D effects, which are a little bit gimmicky, but probably work.
Yeah.
There was one guy who was doing it, and he stepped out. He was in a hallway, and he stepped out to a balcony, and organic, could feel the wind and the cool.
Yeah, they have
breeze.
Little blowers and misters and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Universal Studios ride where they just
a little
spray liquid at you.
But I think the thing is the thing that probably makes it cooler or a more immersive thing is you have this all around vision.
Yeah.
It's encompassing
peripherals and everything.
Your field of vision.
Yeah.
And so when you feel it, it probably tricks your brain a little bit into thinking
it's lining up correctly.
This is probably this is real.
Yeah.
And so Furthermore, yes, you're absolutely right. And furthermore, if you didn't feel that wind, it would be like there'd be like a thing removed. Like, I'm out in a field. Why am I not feeling a thing?
Just dead air.
You know, they did do a little bit where they had a little portion where you could go into an elevator or a lift, and they put a little vibration on the floor to make it feel like you're going up. Yeah. So you're not really going up at all, but that little vibration cues your body, and then all the graphics around you show that you're going up.
There's like a panel that like you touch it to activate the elevator, and it lowers as you're going up. So like you also have that physical of your hand, like, oh, that's going away from me now.
Absolutely.
I'm going up.
And it was what some people who are listening to this right now, they might be saying, okay, great. So it takes an entire warehouse and blah, blah, blah to play a level. You know what I mean? Like, if it really does need to be supported by all these physical things around it, which is fine, but they're all made out of like really thick foam, and I get the impression that it's very easy for them to rearrange these things.
Yeah, precisely.
And probably print and scrape and sculpt new ones and things like that. So the Void's big plan here is that they don't want to be virtual reality for the home or anything like that. They want to be a little bit like maybe going to a movie or something. You go, and we've said it, they didn't, but like how you might go to laser tag, or you might go to a haunted house. Now that I think about it, even something like that.
Sounds like a crazy idea, and I would never do it.
Oh my god,
haunted house Void. I personally wouldn't probably be too into that either, but
I know some people that would just love it.
Oh my god.
There's people that like, play just Oculus Rift haunted house games, and they're happy with it. So I talked a lot. I think I've set this up enough. What are some of your guys' takes on this? Tony, it sounds like you're like all in.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds awesome because like I said, the queuing up of the vision and the other involving of the other senses probably does a lot for the experience. Like it probably really tricks your mind into thinking like you're there.
Sure.
So I would be really excited to try it.
Yeah, there's like a portion in one of them where they're like, he's outside in the sun, and they have a heat lamp set up, like that's like shining sunlight at him, so he can feel it like on his skin and his body and stuff. Like, holy smokes, that's a lot of really good thought put into this whole project. Like, these guys know what they're doing, and they're definitely really, really passionate about it.
And they're just like a kind of small company in Utah, I understand.
Yeah, like they consider themselves the future of entertainment. Like, they want there to be other Void entertainment dome plexes.
Right. This is easily a chain, international chain that's they start in the malls, or they start.
I completely believe that it could happen.
I think
Absolutely.
It sounds great.
I think this is inevitable.
One thing that I think would really benefit. So David talked about you're only able to play a level with the one room you have. If you set it up like a paintball place. Where you have the one level and movable like stuff, you could just play games of paintball all day, or games of virtual paintball all day. Like it doesn't matter.
Or I mean, you could, level. Or if they could do a thing where these malls could be moved, just a few walls even could be moved quickly. Just enough to change it up a little bit.
There's markers on the ground.
If you're playing in a castle for one, and then you're playing on a spaceship for the next, but there's enough different where you're not like, this is the same curved elevator. They could do things like that curved hallway you're walking down. It might be a balcony on the castle level, so they have the fans on, but turn the fans off because you're now in a catacomb. They could do stuff like that, and I'm sure that they would. They would have to. The accuracy of the placement of all these physical objects is. It sounds like down to the centimeter. It sounds like pretty much exact. So this is unlike paintball. This is not something where you can just kick around a couple plastic tubs and have the level be different. Yeah, you know what I mean. To be honest, but I'm sure there's ways for them.
Program like say 4 or 5 levels, right? And move the walls to where.
If it's something as simple as those walls move automatically, or something as simple as just you have a team that goes in there for 5 minutes and pegs some things and pegs them into other areas.
Just reset
Who knows?
Area. Yeah.
You could maybe get really clever. They didn't talk about this. I'm just doing not even speculation. I'm just imagining. You could get crazy about like if you had like 9 turntables, and you could build different things. You make so many different versions.
Oh man!
You know what I mean? Like a 9-grid huge thing, and then on each of those grid is more walls and stuff. You could build tons of different stuff.
Oh my gosh! And like you would like every month or every season or week or whatever, you would have different games or not. They're not really games. They're just kind of experiences.
Right now they're just experiences, but they could be games. And Void says that.
Yeah. But like
they actually they mentioned. I'm sorry, one sec. But they have a game development branch that's just for the making of the games.
Right.
So cool. But like you swap things out. Maybe like some of the bigger installations like. Month by month there's like certain things that they add to it that are special just for that month, and then they take it out and replace it with something else that's different and cool and new the next month when they have a new batch of experiences ready to go. So and that adds like that time that time sensitive stuff where it's like, all right, you only have this amount of time to like have this experience. Go for it.
Yeah,
And that brings in the crowd and stuff.
That's interesting.
Adds a little sense of urgency.
We did not see more than one person in the void yet. I think their tech demo right now is mostly just one person at a time.
I can't imagine. That'd be weird because you would have to get the lighting to match if there were other people in there.
Well, I don't know about the lighting, but you'd have to get a little bit like this. We were just joking in the first half about like if you were Skyping on HoloLens with each other, you definitely would have to have just be your avatars. And they would definitely, they could probably show the hand that has the dominant object in it, be it the torch or the gun or whatever. They could animate that and animate the head. Everything else would probably have to be deduced animation.
Yeah.
You know? Which I guess is fine.
Yeah. Just more sensors.
Because the graphics, they weren't like true to life or anything.
They were nice.
Definitely
very
nice.
Good,
but they were still obviously computer graphics.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Really good last generation graphics. I don't know, maybe a little better, but
yeah. They were definitely good. But.
A few reports said the frame rate a little bit to be desired. It leaves a little bit to be desired. I was getting tongue-tied there, pardon me.
Yeah. Well, you're wearing a computer that's strapped to your back.
The whole thing is on you. You wear the whole the processing power, or the rendering processing power. Yeah. Of course, there's plenty of other stuff. There's a larger computer.
It's talking to.
You may not wear all the rendering power. That might just be a receiver.
Ooh,
because the room might be the computer a little bit. Now that I think about it.
Wow.
So maybe if they tighten up the communication between the real computer and the receiver,
and it might, maybe the left and the pitch and all that stuff of the helmet that still might be happening locally. The frame rate there, yeah, you know what I mean.
They're just doing it,
but also at the same time, like the improvement on those things is completely inevitable.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. It's only
just more computer power.
Absolutely, just a matter of time. That's cool. That's cool. I love it. It sounds like you guys do too.
Oh my gosh. I want this to like spread and be a thing and just oh my gosh. And then you could have like big companies doing like their own experiences for this. Like Marvel would be like, all right, you get to run around with the Avengers now.
You know, that's cool. I just thought of one possible hurdle. Let's pretend you can only have one person in there at a time. That person's going to want at least 10-minute experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If not much more. Can you really have an entire warehouse for just one person at a time? Like, that's going to be really expensive.
Yeah.
Even like paintball places, they can throw 20 people in somewhere and, maybe have a couple different...
There's got to be a workaround to getting more than one person in there.
Well, maybe just divvying up the space or making it flexible mid-game.
Because we need to continue to emphasize that the physical space represented at that level needs to physically exist in the world. It's not like you can have 10 people jacked in, standing in lockers next to each other.
It's not the holodeck yet.
Right,
No.
Right.
That's actually, I think they actually referenced that in there.
Yeah, they did, but that is completely, whatever fantasy technology the holodeck is, that's a different... That's a little bit closer to like what we were talking about in the first half, actually.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's like
actual
on that list of like sci-fi things that are eventually going to become reality.
Yeah.
And Star Trek having a ton of those, as in cell phones and stuff like
teleporters that we all use today.
Yeah, video. yeah. But no, we're on our way to a holodeck. Oh my gosh. Still no teleporters though.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe it's similar to a holodeck in that you do have to go to it.
Right, yes. Right.
You go to the holodeck and experience inside.
But then it doesn't magically make the world appear around you.
Yeah, and it doesn't magically make Mark Twain, who just walks around the...
weren't there episodes where the holodeck basically barked people onto the actual ship?
Mark Twain, like, ran around the freaking
Enterprise. Doesn't make any sense at all.
The Futurama episode where they go to the evil Lincoln and he breaks out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, or one where Data like gets like Sherlock Holmes stuck in him. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
And then the one who loves Deanna Troi.
It was fun to watch Brett Spiner play that, but it was like, come on.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
He's trying to get out of his box.
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't know if there's really much else to say. We'll just keep our eye on the Void. I did not find like a Twitter account or anything for them.
You can go to, I think it's thevoid.com. I was
Virtual entertainment centers is what the Void is calling these hypothetical these places where people could go. Virtual entertainment centers.
Yeah.
So my closing thing is like looking at these demos and seeing all these virtual reality things is super awesome, and I can't wait for it to happen. I'm just skeptical it's going to ever happen.
You really think it's not?
I just don't feel like it's going to get there. Like, I don't think it's going to get widespread.
Maybe widespread for now.
I would love it to happen, and I think it would be super awesome. I just don't see it happening.
See, this, I like believe in it 100%. Like this is completely feasible.
I think that I think the thing that's going to hold the void back the most is not the technology. It's going to be having to pay rent for physical warehouses. Mm-hmm. Like at the end of the day, the most ancient part of what their experience is the thing that's going to be the hardest.
Space,
I think things like HoloLens, like we talked about in the first half of this, and things like Project Morpheus and what's the other one, Oculus Rift and stuff like that, that is absolutely inevitable. I think we're just a couple years away from those things being $100, honestly. I think we are actually just a couple years away. Okay, I'll say within 5, but based on all the story, because we talk about this so much on this show, Tony, like this, and you start to see the trajectory quite easily.
Yeah.
That I think is going to be for sure. You know, we're going to buy 2 or 3 more phones, but then we're going to be buying
headsets,
or it's going to be phones that, whatever. But anyway. Yeah. Cool. Well, Tony, thank you for being here again.
Pleasure.
As I said, this was a fun episode. Very cool. Fun to talk about kind of video games over here on the podcast. So you're the perfect guy to join us. Vee, you can find Tony and I on Branching Dialogue on Thursday nights.
I can? Oh, boy.
Yep. You can go to technophilespodcast.com to find our show or find Branching Dialogue. Actually, Tony, why don't you pimp out all the info for Branching Dialogue?
So we are on Twitter at Branch Dialogue. We are on iTunes, SoundCloud,
Stitcher, Facebook, and YouTube. I know it's kind of heck. It's like, what's the logic there?
Yeah. Right.
At Branching Dialogue or Technophiles. Right. Search Technophiles, you'll find us, but Branching Dialogue for sure. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's it. Tony, if people want to tweet you specifically to talk to you, to try to convince you that the Void is going to be the next big thing, they can do that where?
I'm on Twitter at Blizzard Main. I'm also Blizzard Main on League of Legends and Nintendo Network.
Love it, love it, love it. Miss Vee Laabs?
You can find me on Twitter at bear_Annika, and I on Steam. Are
you bear _ or you might be bear Annika
no,
on Steam.
I think I'm Captain Senator on Steam.
Maybe you are. Actually, maybe I don't think I see Veronica on Steam often.
No. I'm also, my username is CMYKPunk. Or
that's true.
My display name.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it is.
They mismatch.
Well, we love it when people tweet the show at Technophiles Pod, or find us on iTunes, Facebook, Stitcher, and YouTube by searching Technophiles or going to our actual website, technophilespodcast.com. Where, of course, they can find show notes on this episode or check out some of our other shows like Branching Dialogue or even the Technophiles newscast. I think that is it for now, guys. It's the live show next, Vee.
Yes.
I'll see you there. We might see Tony there.
Hopefully I can make it.
Come by.
If you can make it, we do have a talkback section where we have a wireless microphone.
Yeah, I'm going to have it.
You're going to be the one in the audience this time. That'll be great. Well, until then, I'll see you guys in a couple days. I'll see you in a couple days.
Okay.
And people can tweet me on Twitter at RaptorPaint. Ooh. And I'm also on Steam as RaptorPaint if we're doing the Steam stuff for this episode.
Usually we do that on the Branching Dialogue.
That's more of a Branching Dialogue one,
I figured.
So
it's all good. Cool. Have a great night, guys.
See ya.